Why everyone hates Abdelaziz.
Ali Abdelaziz.
Ali Abdelaziz.
Ali Abdelaziz.
Ali Abdelaziz.
Ali Abdelaziz.
One of the most prolific managers in MMA.
I like to make deals. I like to be involved in big mega fights.
Shut your mouth. Ali Abdelaziz. Ali. He was pulled off of a flight going from Cairo, Egypt to New York City on September 11, 2001. He was caught with 5 passports in his possession. He turned informant and turned on the people that he was working with. I don't even know how that man is in this fucking country.
How are you the only guy who's allowed in the cage?
What do you mean?
You're like the only manager who's allowed in the cage. You know who acts like that, right? You know who acts like that. You're taking a page out of his book.
Who?
Out of Dana White's book. You're acting like Dana White. You're acting like a bully. You are. And you're getting too emotional and you're trying to intimidate people and you're trying to intimidate the media. You are, and you can't do that.
Over the years, a lot of MMA fans have grown hatred towards Ali. And it's not just because he's had a lot of success as a manager. There's a lot of other additional reasons for why that is as well. But quickly, before we get the video started, my name is JuicyMMA. I make opinionative MMA content. If you're ready, hit that subscribe button and let's get right into it. Ali Abdelaziz is the most interesting manager in the UFC. On one hand, he's had a lot of success. When you take a look at the UFC's roster and you take a look at the best fighters in the UFC, most of them are signed under Ali Abdelaziz. But on the other hand, there's a lot of reasons for why many MMA fans dislike Ali, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at some of those reasons. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first reason for why a lot of fans dislike Ali is due to the fact that he tweets for his fighters. Now, this is somewhat of a running joke, but at the same time, it does seem like there is some truth behind it. As a lot of times, it seems like certain fighters that are under the umbrella of Ali tweet in an odd way. They tweet in a different way than they normally do. And in those occasions, a lot of fans point to Ali Abdelaziz for the one that is tweeting out for his fighters for his own personal gain. Like, for example, going into the fight between Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev was trash talking quite a bit on Twitter. And going into the fight between Alex and Magomed, every time they faced off face to face, it seems like Magomed Ankalaev had no idea why there was a beef between him and Alex. And a lot of fans speculate that Ali was the actual guy tweeting out in place of Magomed Ankalaev, essentially building that fight and starting the beef to in turn make more money for Ali. And of course, even besides that Magomed Ankalaev example, there's been a ton of other examples as well. As a lot of times when Islam Makhachev tweets out, a lot of fans point to Ali being the one who's actually tweeting for him, especially when he's calling out Conor McGregor and so on and so forth. But overall, this isn't illegal or anything like that. It just shows some of the slimy behaviors of Ali and some of the more slimy behaviors we're going to get into. But the next reason for why a lot of MMA fans dislike Ali Abdelaziz is due to the priority his fighters get. Now, this is something that I've talked about in one of my previous videos, but essentially a lot of fighters that are under the Ali umbrella tend to get opportunities that other fighters wouldn't get in their specific situations. Like, for example, Justin Gaethje being rewarded an interim title shot against Paddy Pimblett when he was on a 1-fight win streak, coming off a knockout loss in the fight previous to that, is definitely an opportunity that most other fighters wouldn't get. Or even, for example, back in the day when Kamaru Usman was granted a title shot against Tyron Woodley when Colby Covington was the interim champion at the time, also an opportunity most other fighters wouldn't get. Or even potentially coming up relatively soon, there's been a lot of rumors that Kamaru Usman is going to be the guy who gets the next title shot against Islam Makhachev, and if that does turn out to be the case, it would be another example of fighters under the umbrella of Ali Abdelaziz getting preferential treatment. And a lot of fans theorize that Ali has something against Dana White and the UFC, something that essentially allows his fighters to get these opportunities that most other fighters would not have been granted. So this is definitely another reason for why a lot of MMA fans dislike Ali. But the next and main factor for why a lot of MMA fans dislike Ali is due to his background. Because in the past, Ali was allegedly caught with a bunch of different passports during 9/11, and a lot of fans speculate that he was going to be involved during those attacks. But even with that being said, he's still in the US and he's still a free man. So due to that, a lot of fans also theorize that he was a rat in that whole investigation as well, and he's an NYPD informant. Now, of course, all this is alleged, but that is the claim that a lot of fans make towards Ali Abdelaziz. So the reason for why they dislike Ali is due to that fact, and also considering the fact that not only is he a free man within the US, but he's also thriving, making millions of dollars along the way. But the next factor for why a lot of MMA fans dislike Ali is much simpler than my previous point, but it's due to the Conor McGregor vs Khabib Nurmagomedov beef. As obviously Conor vs Khabib turned out to be the biggest fight in UFC history, and a big reason for why that was due to the beef going into the fight. And of course, Ali was representing Khabib, and he was of course Team Khabib. But not only was he Team Khabib, but he was also very outspoken against Conor McGregor. And since Conor McGregor was the biggest star in the sport, there was a lot of Conor fans that disliked Ali just based upon that factor alone. And a lot of MMA fans became MMA fans because of Conor McGregor. So I definitely do think there are a large portion of the MMA fan base that dislikes Ali initially because of his hatred towards Conor McGregor, and initially because of Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. But another question that some of you may be wondering at this point is, do I think these claims are legitimate? Well, in my opinion, I think the vast majority of them are probably legitimate. As when you take a look at the tweeting for fighters, I think there's a lot of evidence behind that. And there's a lot of evidence that would suggest Ali actually does tweet for his fighters. And that's obviously something that a lot of MMA fans would not like. Also, the fact that a lot of his fighters get undeserved title shots, that's undeniable. There's been so many examples over the years. I know I gave 3 potential examples in this video, but outside of that, there's been a ton of examples of fighters under the umbrella of Ali getting undeserved title shots or getting undeserved opportunities that most other fighters wouldn't. And obviously, MMA fans are not going to like this. For the most part, a big complaint from a lot of MMA fans is undeserved title shots or undeserved opportunities. And due to the fact that a lot of those fighters that get these undeserved opportunities tend to be elite fighters, that's of course going to be a big reason for why a lot of MMA fans dislike Ali. And in my opinion, I think this claim also has a lot of legitimacy to it. Now, in terms of his background, I know a lot of it is alleged, but at the same time, there is a decent amount of evidence behind this as well. So overall, I do get the reason for why a lot of MMA fans dislike Ali Abdelaziz. And although I don't think every single claim MMA fans make about Ali is legitimate, for the most part, in terms of the main claims, I do think there is a good amount of legitimacy behind them. But with all that being said, one thing that you can't deny about Ali is he's been super successful. Ever since he became an MMA and UFC manager, he's had a lot of success. And of course, as I mentioned before, at this point, he has the control over the majority of the UFC's roster and the majority of the UFC's champions, and also the majority of the UFC's talented fighters. So I guess only time will tell what does end up happening with Ali Abdelaziz. But quickly, if you guys enjoyed the video and want to support the channel, be sure to hit that join button for members only live streams, videos, best bets, discounted merch, alongside with additional perks as well. I wanted to thank all my current channel members. You guys do an amazing job at keeping the videos coming and keeping the channel going. And once again, I wanted to say thank you. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What are your thoughts on Ali Abdelaziz? Do you think he's a legitimate manager, or do you think he's a shady guy that deserves the hate that he's been getting? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did enjoy, check one of these 2 videos popping up now. And until the next time, peace out, guys.